Hit it hard, baby.
All right, here we go. Check this out. It's really messed up, man. So the Daily News has, everyone knows the guy's name, Manish Mehta.
Yes.
Has been the beat reporter for the Daily News covering the New York Jets for, gotta be 10 years now, right?
I think more than that. I think maybe 12, 13 years, something like
Whatever
that.
it is. Now, he tried to make a name for himself early on by being the guy that reported crazy trades, releases, inside stories. And to be fair, there were a couple of highly ranked people in the franchise that he did have access to.
Yes.
So not everything he said was bogus, but a lot of it was. But I want to be clear, he did have legitimate sources, all right? And as he became more well-known, apparently he got crazy, like legitimately nuts, I think. So when you're a beat reporter for a football team, and I've done this when I lived in Philly, 1993, 94, 95, I traveled with and covered the Philadelphia Eagles. So I have walked a mile in the shoes of a beat reporter. Mm-hmm. So I know what I'm talking about. The only way to do that job, non-COVID, of course, is to physically be in that locker room 4 days a week, sometimes 5, all right?
Form relationships, and that's how you get information.
Just you got to be there, all right? Got to go to the games, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So first there came a point where he was only going to the locker room at most once a week, but then pretending like he was there, and that pissed a lot of people off. But then let me get to the good stuff. Manish Mehta no longer covers the New York Jets for the Daily News. And beyond that, he's actually physically banned from the complex where the Jets work out in Florham Park, and he's had his press pass revoked to go to the games as well. Now, in my history of doing sports talk radio and being a beat reporter for a football team, I've never in my life ever seen that happen in any market with any team. So what did Manish Mehta do to deserve that? And this is where the story gets crazy. Manish Mehta, and I've confirmed this, and I want to be clear, we reached out to him and gave him a chance to come on the show. If he wants to come on and refute it or explain it, he knows the number. Anytime today you want to come on, he's welcome to come on. Joe Douglas's family still lives in Philadelphia. It's where his kids go to school. And that's normal for a lot of people. You don't want to disrupt your kids' lives when it comes to their friends and school and whatnot, right? Manish Mehta went to Philadelphia and reached out to Joe Douglas while stalking his son. Now, we can define stalking in a lot of ways, so let me give you my definition of it so it's not misinterpreted. He sent Joe Douglas a text message describing the type of ice cream that Joe's son was eating at a ball game. Now, I don't have it word for word, but that's sick. That's icky feeling. And it went along the lines of, hey, Joe, I'm watching your son eat vanilla ice cream out of a Phillies batting helmet in Philadelphia right now. That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs,
and
man.
thinking what was going to happen with that kind of text message to the general manager of the Jets.
So now play this forward. Manish Mehta gets kicked off the Jet beat either by the Daily News or by the Jets, or the NFL, whatever it is. So the Daily News now has to find a new guy to go out there and cover the New York Jets. So they hire this guy, I believe his name is Charles McDonald. Mm-hmm. Okay? Charles McDonald goes on Twitter today. Apparently he just got fired or he left the Daily News to go work for, I don't know, some other company, right? But before he officially left the Daily News, he decided to publicly share text messages that Manish Mehta allegedly sent him, telling him what questions to ask of Joe Douglas, Adam Gase, or whoever's there with the New York Jets. So the Daily News put essentially a ghost reporter in the locker room to do the dirty work for Manish Mehta, who's now controlling the questions of this ghost reporter for the Daily News.
And taking credit for the observations of the ghost reporter who was actually there covering the team.
So this guy, Charles McDonald, is asking questions that Mehta's telling him to ask.
Right.
And then Mehta is telling the world what he's allegedly seeing in the locker room, but he's not in the locker room because he's got his guy doing it for him, right? So somewhere, this relationship between Manish Mehta and this McDonald guy goes south because McDonald decides on his way out of the Daily News, I'm going to be the biggest rat on the planet, and I'm now going to reveal the text messages that I was receiving from Manish Mehta whenever I went to Florham Park to cover the Jets.
Can I defend in observing this?
This is unbelievable.
But wait a second. I have an observation. You tell me if you disagree. The Daily News deserves a lot of blame for this.
You're damn right they do.
And I think that's where Charles decided, I'm airing this laundry right now because the news did nothing about it.
Well, hold on. So the Daily News employed a guy to go to Jets camp and be a surrogate for Manish Mehta. Right?
Well, no, the Daily News employed a guy that was stalking the child of Joe Douglas.
Well, that's the
you
first
throw that in there, too?
Right. The Daily News employed a guy.
And has the Daily News ever responded to these accusations?
I don't know.
And why his credential was removed?
Well, I'm telling you why his credential got removed.
No, Craig, I know that. But what I'm saying is if a credential is removed,
it's unbelievable.
You would think the news agency would fight for that person to keep their credential, right?
Put it this way, the Daily News hasn't denied any of it.
That's my point.
Right. Right.
Nor did they fight, I think, to keep the credential in place.
No, clearly they didn't.
So don't they have some answering here?
Well, they employed a guy that they found, I'm sure they didn't know before he did it, that he was going to do it. They certainly have seen the tangible evidence of him. I'm using the word stalking. I don't know a better word to use for it.
What word do you want to use?
But that's the word that comes to mind to me.
No matter what word you use, it ain't good. It's not good.
Like, how do you go to Philadelphia and text the general manager of the Jets, I'm watching your son eat vanilla ice cream? I'd want to kill the guy.
Craig, I will tell you this right now. Remember how I won't box, I won't fight, I can't fight? I got 2 kids. They're very young. If I ever got that text message from somebody, I can't promise what I would do.
Of course
I'm being
not.
dead serious. The blood in my eyes would flow. I can't promise what would happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not a violent guy. So I can only imagine the reaction.
It's unbelievable.
No, it's like we're laughing at the absurdity of this. Because when you really think about it, it's not funny at all. It kind of makes me angry.
No, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
But then this Charles McDonald guy goes on Twitter today, and he pulls the curtain back from Oz and says, here are the text messages from Mehta to me telling me not only what questions to ask, how to follow up, what to follow up with, and what to do.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So the New York Jets are sitting here going, wait a minute. We're 0-10. It's bad enough that we stink, and we know that every guy that covers the team has to be critical of everything we do because we stink right now, right?
Right.
But now you're employing a guy who's stalking the children of our general manager, and then you're bringing his replacement in, and all that guy is a mouthpiece for the guy that we don't want around here.
Right.
And then I heard one better.
One better?
How about this?
Yes.
This Manish Mehta, who's supposedly banned from all things covering the New York Jets,
right,
which includes the virtual Zoom calls that the team does specifically with the beat reporters that cover the team on a daily basis. Supposedly, Manish Mehta was with, I don't know if he was physically at McDonald's place or not, but somehow McDonald's signs into the call and Mehta's in the background.
How does that happen?
What are we doing?
By the way, I want to clarify one thing. It's very important.
Yeah.
Charles left on his own because
what?
Couldn't deal with this anymore.
Couldn't deal with what? Mehta telling him what questions to ask?
Basically being used as a pawn.
Okay, so why don't you just tell him, hey, stop. I'm going to ask my own questions.
You don't know what happened
It's
behind
a great chance for me to be a reporter.
We don't know what was going on behind the scenes.
Do you think the Daily News told McDonald, Mehta's going to send you questions to ask every week?
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is he decided to leave on his own. And based on the job description he had, how can anybody blame him?
Now, I want to be fair. We reached out to McDonald.
Yes.
He declined our invitation to come on the show, said I'll let my Twitter speak for itself. We reached out to Manish Mehta. He originally said he was going to come out at 5 o'clock, and then texted Tommy back and said, can't do it, have some personal obligations. Okay. But I want to be clear.
Yes, both were invited on the program.
We gave, and by the way, if you're the Daily News and you want to come on and defend this, you can come on too.
Don't they have a lot of explaining to do too? Am I wrong here to think that?
Listen.
I mean, that's one of my reactions to all of this.
I don't care how you cover a team. You know, and like I said at the start, I know for a fact Manish Mehta did have a couple legitimate sources within that team and did break some stories. I'm not knocking that.
No, that's not my point.
But
my point is the accusation.
You can't stalk a man's son.
That's all I can, Craig. That's all I don't care about how they cover a team. I mean, it's important, but it's not even the crux of this. Is that something that they would feel comfortable about? I can't imagine the
Daily News?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, well, that's all I'm asking.
No way.
I can't imagine they feel comfortable about that.
Listen, he's still under their employment, right?
That boils my blood thinking about that.
Your son's eating vanilla ice cream out of a Phillies batting helmet.
How would you respond?
Well, first off, I'd be glad that he's eating out of a batting helmet. It's a great way to eat a sundae.
Good
number one.
Look at it. Yes.
No, I'd be livid about it.
Livid.
I've not spoken to Joe Douglas, but I imagine he was livid about it.
Should
livid.
Be.
Now, let me just say this. Do I think that Manish is some way a physical threat? I do not. I don't believe
I don't think
believe
so
that.
Either, but it's the idea of it.
But the fact that you would send that icky tweet to another man about watching his son eat ice cream
and thinking the end game is what? Now all of a sudden Joe Douglas is going to give him information?
Yeah, you better give me some information.
Okay, we're going to trade Jamal Adams. You got me.
But like, who covers the Jets for the Daily News? Is it? I mean, does anyone know now?
Who covers them?
Yeah. I mean, it was Manish. He got canned from that job. Then he was doing.
But he was still writing columns about the Jets.
He still is. Yes. Yeah. Listen, he can write all the columns he wants. He can't be the beat reporter.
Right.
And that's where there's a fine line between the guy that covers the team and a columnist. And that's why a lot of beat reporters don't like beat reporters that kind of cross the line into columnists.
Right.
Listen, and I want to be clear. Manish Mehta has every right to write every column he wants about the New York Jets.
And I got to tell you, over the years, I've agreed with him on a lot of things he's written.
And if a lot of people read it, he's going to continue to do it. But the notion that he's been banned from the Jet facility and games, and now I know why. It's got nothing to do with the fact that he's critical of the Jets.
Well, what's funny?
It's personal.
You know what's funny?
And the Daily News has to do something about that, I
absolutely.
think.
When that first came out, he was banned. They took his credential away. There's this natural reaction to think, oh, the Jets are being sensitive. You know what? They ripped all the time by Manish. That's what caused it. And I think that's a natural reaction a lot of us would have about that, and we would say that's ridiculous. The Jets think they deserve to be ripped, right or wrong. This, we can all agree on, is wrong.
I'm trying to think.
There's no debate.
Like,
this
as
is
I'm
wrong.
saying it, is there anything, could he explain it in any way that you'd be like, oh.
No.
Like,
no, he'd say it's not true.
Like, what, like, did he was he on a picnic one day with the Douglases and ice cream came up? No. And it was just like, hey, remember last week? He's eating ice cream again, just so you want to know.
No.
Like something really colloquial and personal like that.
No, he would say it's not true.
Well, I'm just saying.
That's the answer.
Like, now I want to put on my hat of, is there any possibility that text, that I'm misconstruing how I'd react to that text? I don't think so.
All right, I got one scenario.
Good.
Happens to be at a baseball game and says, hey, Joe, I'm happy to be at a baseball game. Your son's here. Cool. Does that work
that's
or
not
no?
what happened.
Well, no, I'm trying to figure out how that text message.
If I was at a ball game and I bumped into a friend's son or daughter who I had a personal relationship with, I might text them and go, hey, just bumped into so-and-so. They're doing well. See you tomorrow. Whatever it is.
Okay, so what are you trying to figure out?
I don't know
how you can talk about the ice cream cone?
Hey, Joe Douglas, I'm watching your son eat ice cream with my binoculars.
Well,
it appears to be vanilla with rainbow sprinkles. I know you call them Jimmy's, but I don't. He's eating the vanilla ice cream out of the Philadelphia Phillies red batting helmet. It looks like he got the large. He said no to hot fudge. He's using a pink spoon with his right hand.
Well, you just made it extra creepy, bro. I mean, come on, you added a million things to it.
That's how it sounds, right?
No, I agree with you. I agree.
And then there's another part of the story where, to me, I'm like, this McDonald guy, again, who I don't know from Adam, that's kind of a ratty thing to do also.
Oh, no, I disagree.
Like, why would you put Manish under the bus on that?
I'll tell you why.
Because you were willing to do it for him for however how long you did it. So now to throw him under the bus and expose the ruse that you were a part of, to me, that's kind of ratty.
Nah, but here's why I can't jump to that. I can't jump to that conclusion, okay?
All right.
Because we don't know behind the scenes how ticked off he may be about it. If you work,
he did it.
Yeah, okay.
He's willing to do it.
But hold on a second. It's his job.
Is it?
Yes.
Why not go? I mean,
if his bosses are telling him to do something,
well, that we don't know.
Well, but that's my point. That's what I'm saying to you. I don't know either. It's not like I work there, but I'm giving you a reason in a way where him leaving, he'd say, you know what? They didn't do anything about it. I'll take care of it on my own.
I'm watching your son from the mezzanine level. He thought about getting Rita's water ice, but instead went with soft-serve vanilla ice cream. He's now walking back to his seat. He's wearing blue jeans, a red button-down sweater, and a baseball cap slightly askew. He's sitting in section 114, row 9, seat 3. The ice cream has begun to melt. A little bit of ice cream is now running down his right wrist to his forearm. He's paying no mind to it. He's enjoying the ice cream.
It's horrible, man.
That's so sick.
Oh, the whole thing is sick.
Sick.
I think Manish is from that area, too.
From where? Philadelphia?
From the Philadelphia area.
Might be going back.
Is he?
I don't know.
I mean, he survived all this already.
Well, I'm assuming.
You're assuming what?
Well, the Daily News had to know that he was telling Joe Douglas about his Sunday ice cream.
And they haven't done anything about it, have they?
Well, I guess they agreed that he's not going to cover the Jets anymore.
Yeah, like he writes about the Jets.
The Daily News had the right to fight the New York Jets and demand that he be credentialed.
Did they?
But apparently they did not.
So they did not fight the New York Jets?
I don't believe that they did.
Oh, okay.
Which lends more credence to this being legit.
Yeah.
Right? Now, he could write a column about the New York Jets, and he still does.
Yeah.
But then you have the fact that, like this McDonald guy, to me, you exposed yourself, right?
I don't think so.
And you ratted a guy out.
Nah, you're looking at it the wrong way.
How's that guy hireable?
You're looking at it the wrong way.
Am I?
Yeah.
Why?
Because if he
if
complained
you ran
about
the Athletic,
yes,
and you found out the guy you want to hire was ghost questioning for Manish Mehta willingly, and then publicly threw him and the Daily News under the bus, would you be comfortable with that hire?
Well, but wait a second.
Or would you be like, wait a minute?
But Craig, you're leaving parts out of the story that you're not mentioning.
Oh, what am I leaving out?
That he may not have wanted to do it. He's working for somebody, and they're telling him this is a part of the job. You can't just leave that out.
I don't think the Daily News said, listen, here's the job, kid. You're going to ghost.
You don't know.
You're going to ghost question things for Manish
You don't
Mehta.
think he complained about it? If this bothered him, you don't think he complained about it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know he put it out publicly. And I like it for our purposes.
Sure.
Radio-wise. But, would I hire that guy? I don't know that I would.
I disagree with him.
I don't know.
think there's more.
Can you trust that guy?
I think there's more to
Would you tell that guy a secret?
Well, I need to know more.
I wouldn't.
I need to know more. You're basing it on just, oh, wow, he released all this information on the way out. You don't know what he dealt with for the 4 or 5 months he was doing this. You don't know.
I don't know.
That's
correct.
That's why I'm defending him from this idea of, well, he's a rat. I wouldn't employ him. That's why I'm defending him. Because I don't think you know everything he probably dealt with. I would assume, and I don't know for sure, I would assume he complained about his situation to his boss. Absolutely.
Oh, no.
Absolutely.
No shot.
No shot?
There's no shot he complained about
you think
it.
he didn't say a word, then he just quit and then
he
let it
waited
all
until
out?
he had another gig, and as soon as he got another gig, he threw Manish under the bus and rolled. That's how I see it happening.
Yeah, I disagree with you.
My gut's pretty good in this show thus far, is it not?
Yeah, but I think in this case you're wrong.
He didn't complain. Because if he complained, they would have taken him off the gig. They would have been worried that he was going to throw him under the bus. By being complicit,
there's no way.
You don't worry about it.
No, there's no way he was just doing it because Manish made him do it. The paper probably made him do it.
I don't know. I don't know.
And then he probably said, I got to find a new job. I don't want to do this anymore. And he found a new job. Good for him.
The problem is that the day he gets the new job, he rats out his partner and throws him under the bus. That's dirty.
Come on.
That's dirty.
He was put in a horrible situation.
As much as what Manish did is sick and completely ridiculous to do to another person, this guy, I take Manish's side against this McDonald guy.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, how?
You and I have an agreement. I'll send you the questions you ask him. And then you throw me under the bus publicly? No.
Yeah, but you don't know what was going on behind the scenes.
I know this.
What do you know?
Yeah, you can't be trusted if that's the way that goes.
I disagree with you on that. I completely do. That's the area where we go to
Big
different
Mac,
sides.
you with me on that, right?
No, definitely. How do you trust that guy ever again?
Right. That guy was at some level okay, or at least willing to ask questions on behalf.
You either do it or you don't do it. He was comfortable enough to do it for months, and then the day he leaves.
That's not true. He stopped doing it 2 months ago. He stopped asking. Well, I do. He stopped asking questions in the last couple of months. Didn't want to do it anymore.
And then why did he throw Manish under the bus? Because he doesn't like him?
Nothing was happening there, probably.
Well, I've met Manish Mehta. I didn't know that he was that kind of guy, but
right.
I had no problem with him.
Oh, so you had no problem with him? That means this guy's...
No, I'm saying, like, he didn't come across to me like a total douche.
You have no idea.
But maybe he is. I don't know.
Well, based on this story, how would you lean?
I don't like... The thing that bothers me the most of all of it is, texting a man about it, his son eating ice cream.
Well, of course. That's the worst part. The worst part of the whole thing is that we could agree on. That's not even close.
That part's,